is Road Safety Week. The theme is Be a Road Safety Hero. I know it sounds a bit kumbaya. Basically, though, it looks at how we all play a part in making journeys safer for everyone. And while our road safety record has been significantly improved in recent years, challenges still remain. Cyclists, motorcyclists and pedestrians continue to be overrepresented in injury and death statistics. But for the first time during Road Safety Week, horse riding safety is being highlighted ahead of a visit to Parliament by advocacy organisation Pass Wide and Slow New Zealand. Between 2000 and 2019, 40 riders were killed while riding or driving a horse-drawn vehicle on the road. Leah McLean is the founder of Pass Wide and Slow and is advocating for increased awareness and education around keeping safe when sharing roads with horse riders. And she joins me now. Julia, good to talk again.
Yeah, really good to talk again. Thank you for highlighting this issue.
No, look, it's my pleasure.
So incredibly important.
So this is the first time horse riding safeties featured in Road Safety Week. That's a win, right?
Oh, it's absolutely a win, but that's because Pass Wide and Slow New Zealand is filling the void of no road safety messaging and awareness for the horse riding community. So you could look at it as a positive, but really it's because there is nothing that's being led by the Road Safety Authority and our leaders that set the terms and conditions of, road safety messaging and how penalties and everything feeds into deterring and mitigating.
Can you just remind us, Julia, because I know I spoke with you last year, what is the key message behind, for those that didn't hear you the first time, Pass Wide and Slow?
Well, effectively slow down. I mean, we're not targeting a specific speed because that's just messy. Drive to the conditions around you effectively. If you're in an 80k zone, slow down.
Yep.
Give 2 meters at least in terms of space because horses can move incredibly quickly if they're spooked sideways. And it's about the safety of the driver and their passengers as well as the safety of the rider and the horse or the horse-drawn vehicle. Because as a rider, we can see things that others can't see. Ducks, dogs, things in paddocks, wide. It's just you're zooming along with your radio on and talking to whoever in your back seat. You're distracted easily, but following the hand signals of a rider, slowing down, giving space, being aware of what you've actually got next to your vehicle, which is an animal with a mind of its own. And we're doing our very best to mitigate, look after you, look after our animal and ourselves, but we rely on the behaviours and the decisions of those in vehicles to keep us safe.
So right now, horse riders are classed as other road users, not vulnerable ones. And what does that actually mean in practice?
Nothing. Other means we sit on the fringe of transport legislation. And for decades, you have had a community that's been appealing to be included because that other terminology translates to how decision makers treat you at the table by way of local government and central government in terms of consultation. So as an other road user, you're left out of the loop. But then it's troubling because you have the Ministry of Transport and NZTA that consult and they sometimes throw in horse riders as a vulnerable road user. So the crux of the issue is this country doesn't have a formal definition of vulnerable road user, which according to the UN, the World Health Organization, is anything non-motorised. Right. So we are going to Parliament with a very strong support network in the equestrian community as well as politically to have a formal recognition of horse riders as vulnerable road users and for our transport legislation to reflect that once and for all. And the flow down effect will mean that horse riders can also be included in road safety messaging. Yeah. And when we make up on average 2 deaths a year from the statistics that I've found through Health New Zealand, and can I just say, Leah, I mean, road safety seems to all sit around how many deaths do you have, and we'll look at your group and take you seriously if it warrants it, you know. So the phrase was said to me, show us the facts, show us the stats. So I went hunting for those stats, and I wrote to ACC, and I really want to thank them, because their books for the time period that I asked was 17 deaths. But they did make a little mention in their response, which was, how about you talk to Health New Zealand? I wrote to Health New Zealand that very day, and within 5 minutes I had statistics sent back to me, and they made me cry, because in a period of 19 years we've had 40 road deaths aging from 10 years old to 79 years old. There's an even split between men and women. And then I wrote to WorkSafe New Zealand, and they have a further 3 deaths on their books between 2022 and 2024. So the coroner is where the statistics need to be used to inform decision makers of what the problems are and where they are happening in this country and who's impacted. Because let's not forget, a death is horrific. It's final. But it's also not including the injuries, the trauma, the maiming, the deaths of animals, the near misses that leave you so frightened that you never want to venture out on the road. That's not the country we want to have. We can do better than that. For a population of 5.5 million, we can
Julia,
take better care of each other.
Can I ask, I know you handed in a petition last year. That was when I last spoke to you. That was for 9,000 signatures. What came of it? But now you're heading back again in another couple of weeks.
No. So there's no second petition. That is the petition.
Oh, right.
And from that day, I returned home and I was asked to write a submission, i.e. a case. What are you asking for and why? So I've written my evidence and submitted that, and it's gone from the Petitions Committee, and it now sits with the Transport and Infrastructure Committee. And on the 5th of June, I will fly to Wellington with my 13-year-old daughter, who already presented to Canterbury Mayors and Chairs, and we will pitch all our evidence with our pass wide and slow hat on, because we've continued to find more and more evidence, I guess, to support everything. I mean, police issued a $55 infringements, 13 of them over 13 years, and that's the crux of the infringements that the Minister of Transport keeps referring to, by way of, hey, we've got penalties, we've got deterrents, $55 fines for, not being careful around an animal. Well, 13 and 13 years is not a deterrent of $55.
Julia, we have a text side here and people can text in, and we've got a guy, Bob, who's actually being a bit of a dick, actually. He's saying, why are horses on an 80k zone? That's asking for trouble. He now wants horses off the road, and he wants to start a campaign for getting horses off the road, just from the strength of listening to us. Well, Bob, we all share the roads. That means cyclists should be off the roads as well, because they too are in 80k zones, 100k zones. But Julia, you can tell Bob.
Well, thankfully, the Bobs of this world are the minority, by way of the support for this and the common sense approach that we are seeing within, the political world and cross-party support for this, and in general, the feedback on social medias. And, I've been working on this, I think, for, 15 months. And by far, it's just the most positive, common sense approach that people are taking to the pass wide and slow message. And when you look at the facts, people understand why we are where we are and that we can do better. And that minority view of horses shouldn't be on the road, that's not the country that I thought we wanted. I thought we wanted to ensure that everyone can, participate in the passion.
That's the point, exactly. I mean, we're also a country that's very has a lot of rural space, and we have a lot of people with horses that are on the roads. We're not New York.
100%.
We're not LA. We are in New Zealand, and you may as well say cows should get off the road too, and farmers should not move their animals on the roads. A lot of times they move them under the road, but you know what I'm saying. And if people can't see the fact that a person on a horse should be protected and have the same education and rights and be seen as vulnerable, like a pedestrian, as somebody walking, as somebody cycling, it just makes sense. I mean, if you want a horse through your windscreen, Bob, keep up that attitude. But I know who's going to come off second best.